Hello, dears. Those of you new to the work, what we do in this community is we identify the cause of our suffering. We move it from our head to paper and we question it. The work is a way to identify what you're thinking and believing and question it. My mother gave me, I was just a little girl, and my mother gave me a lemon, but I didn't know it was a lemon. I didn't know it was a lemon. And she said, that's a lemon. And I tasted it and it was, just really weird. And that was my first lemon. I didn't even know they exist. I didn't know what it was. I had no idea. It was like, oh my gosh. So the next time a lemon showed up in my life, the next time I saw a lemon, I knew what it was. I knew what it was. My mother told me so. So how did I know what it was? I believed her. I believed her. And I'm not saying that's not a lemon. I'm just saying I believed her. But prior to that, there was no lemon in my life. What do you think about that? And then my children said, I don't even know if they ask. Let's say I handed them a lemon and I said, lemon. And they said, dun, 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 dun. And I said, here, honey, it's a lemon. Taste it. So they tasted it. This is like a dramatic example, but they tasted it. And it was that sour thing that happens in our mouth. And I got to watch them with their first lemon. And they'd been eating lemons and iced tea and stuff like that, let's say, or lemon pie, long before that happened, but they just, I don't see how what I'm saying would make any sense to you. It's like, in my world, do I believe what my mother believes just because she says so? That's not on her, that's on me. I believed. She said, that's a tree. I believed her. And the moment I did, that was my first tree. Let's say you died and came back into Earth School, for example, and you don't know what anything is. That was my experience on the floor. You don't know what anything is. You're a newborn. And it has nothing to do with a little bitty baby or a grown human being. What you're thinking and believing makes up your world, and no two people live in the same world. Seems like we kind of do. In my world, in my Earth School, it's okay to believe or not to believe, but if it brings suffering into my life, I identify what I'm thinking and believing, and I move it from my head to paper, and I question it. So I can still say it's a tree and you believe it or not, but you don't know what's going on in this head. You may think you know what's going on in your head, but I'm really describing a trance. When I said lemon, you had a picture of lemon in your head. Oh, where is this going? You know what I love is judge your neighbor, write it down, ask for questions and turn it around. That keeps it really simple. And basically, I would say that's my message, but make it yours. Okay, so Brian, you have a question? Those of you new to the work, if you didn't understand what I said, it's like perfect. You're right on time. Hi, Brian.
Hello. Yeah, the question I have is, I have a specific goal, like a business goal that I've been trying to achieve for a long time. And I just haven't made as much progress on it as I'd like. And it's something that I've never really done before. So I don't have like a really super clear path on how to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, what would you suggest on how to apply the work to help me get there? Because when I start approaching that goal, I start working on it, I always end up losing focus, forgetting. I start getting confused. I start feeling doubts.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'd suggest. I suggest to you what I would do for myself, but it's I'm unable to achieve this goal.
Okay.
I would write that down,
Okay.
and then I would make a list below it. It's like a step ladder. And I call it the "and that means that" exercise. And that means that. So I'm unable to accomplish my goal, and that means that. So what do you fear? That means that if you fail, it means that.
So if I fail, then that means that I wasted all that time doing the wrong thing.
So I would say I wasted all my time.
Okay.
And then I would list under, and that means that, let's see, and that means that I wasted all my time. And that means that what was the other you said? There were two things there. I wasted all my time and.
I don't remember the other.
Oh, does anyone remember? Oh my gosh. I can't remember.
It's just that the thoughts that I have are so fleeting.
Okay, let's go with the fears. It's really important.
Okay.
I'm unable to meet my goals, accomplish my goal, and that means, what else do you fear?
I fear that I can't do it.
So I can't do it. And the next one. All of you you get still.
I can't do it.
To accomplish my goal. What are your fears? And that means, now we're going to list the fears. I'm unable to accomplish my goal, and that means people will see me as a failure. Maybe that's not yours, but that belongs to some of us.
Here's a problem that I have is that it's not so much that I have clear thoughts, but I get like a felt senses and feelings in my body. So that's where I come up with a little bit of an issue with following these lines of question with the questions.
So if I understand you correctly, what happens is I wasted all my time doing the wrong thing, and that means I can't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do it. Is it true? And then I move to the next one. Can I really know that it's true I can't do it? Well,
there's no possible way I could truly know if I can.
So I would get still and contemplate that rather than just shoot from the hip. I would muse in it. In other words, I would meditate in it. I would get still in it, in that question, and then notice how you react, what happens when you think the thought. Notice the images in your head of the future when you think the thought.
I just feel, sad and helpless. I don't know where it's coming from. It's just,
I do.
It's like,
I know where it's coming from. I know where it's coming from. You just feel sad and helpless. Close your eyes when you think the thought, I wasted all my time doing the wrong thing. Notice the images in your head of the past and future.
the only image that I have is just, I get a sense of like when I was little, like when I was a little kid and just my mom's in the room, but I don't have like clear images. I'm more like
That's okay.
auditory.
You don't need clear images. Just notice
Okay.
that. That's what shows up. Be gentle, sweetheart. Be gentle like that shows up. Just notice. And if you get still in that and your heart and your mind is open, you'll be shown more. If you stop there, you shut the process down. I wasted all my time doing the wrong thing. There's mom. There's you. Notice any more images of the past, images of the future that show up.
It felt like I wanted to cry for a minute and then it went away, but it's still like.
So notice, be there with that little guy. Just notice it felt like you were going to cry and you shut it down. Be there with that little guy. Sounds like you couldn't be there for him then. Be there with him now. You wasted all that time doing the wrong thing. I'll come back to the present. Who would you be? Imagine your life. Who would you be without the thought, doing everything you've done to accomplish your goal? Who would you be without the thought, I wasted all that time doing the wrong thing? Who would you be right here, right now, without that thought?
I would just move on to the next thing. I'd just be more, I would like to be just more fearless on that.
Well, just be here now and continue to look at your future, doing what you do without the thought, I wasted all that time doing the wrong thing.
It's so funny. How can I possibly know it was the wrong thing? Because I didn't do it yet.
Wow. Well, interesting.
Don't know it's the wrong thing until it's the wrong thing.
Interesting.
Why is it so fucking hard? It seems so simple sometimes, but sometimes it seems.
Just stay there where you are, sweetie. Just stay where you are. Without the thought, I wasted all that time doing the wrong thing. And notice when you believe it, how hard it gets sometimes.
It just feels like I make it harder than it needs to be, or
that's the life of a believer.
Inflate it like over.
I wasted all that time doing the right thing. I didn't waste all that time doing the wrong thing.
Or the wrong thing did me.
Well, let's just slow it down and try these turnarounds on. That could be the next one, but
All right.
one turnaround at a time. This takes stillness.
Okay.
Try it on. I wasted all that time doing the wrong thing.
I didn't waste all that time doing the wrong thing. No, that one's not it.
Well, maybe it's where you're not looking. I didn't waste all my time doing the wrong thing. What have you learned as a result of what you're trying to accomplish on that trail, on that path?
I learned how not to do it.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And then I'd itemize those things.
Itemize? Could you tell me a little more?
In other words, respect each measure of that. I didn't waste my time doing all the wrong things. What were you doing in the meantime? What were you accomplishing in other areas?
That's the thing. I've made so much progress in all other areas of my life.
So there's one. There's one.
It's just this one specific thing I want really, really bad that has just been stubborn. I haven't made like any headway on it. But like I lost 50 pounds. I gained my health back. I suffered from anxiety for most of my life. From the time I woke up until the time I went to bed, but now I feel fine. I say at least 80% of the time now. So just my heart's open. I mean, I've grown so much many other ways. It's just this, it's like of the three big focuses in my life that I felt were really lacking. Two of them I'm getting very satisfied with, but it's just this one that pains me.
And what is that one, if you don't mind mentioning it, and I leave that to you?
I just success, financial and business wise. It's a career wise. I just want to just get a much better level, a higher level than what I've currently at, and it feels like I feel like I've been on a hamster wheel for that. I'm just stuck. It feels like I can't even get myself to even try anything, to try stuff or to take action.
All that time doing the wrong thing, turned around. I didn't waste all my time doing the wrong thing. I lost weight.
Yeah.
Got my health back. And what else? Look how much easier you're breathing.
Yeah.
Look at, oh, here's what's in my head, why I'm stammering with you. There are 6 questions to answer on that Judge Your Neighbor worksheet.
Okay.
And if you need help, someone to support you to hold that beautiful mind of yours in inquiry, call the helpline or one of those certified facilitators on thework.com.
Okay.
And they'll hold you in this. And oh my goodness. Would you rather meet that goal and have that financial stuff, or would you rather be free? Oh my goodness. What good is success if your mind isn't free? It's just not success in my life. Because I could lose everything I've got and I'm stuck with this head, or I could quadruple everything I've got and I'm still stuck with my head. So I invite
Byron, I'm just not there yet to where I can have just that full faith that, I can be living on a slice of bread a day and still be blissfully happy when I'm starving and living in Skid Row, and I still got to pay bills. I still got just practical things,
Brian,
hey, I'm starving to death, but at least I'm happy. I'm sorry. that doesn't jive with me.
Brian, you're jumping ahead here. Where are you the freest? Where do you make the best decisions when you are at home in yourself or worried?
I have never made a good decision when I was worried or under stress or under pressure.
Okay, well, do I have 4 questions for you? Just because you're free doesn't mean life isn't more available to you than ever compared to when you're stressed out.
Okay. With that, another pesky thought come up. What if I can never be free? Because I haven't had the privilege or the experience of having like a Buddha or Eckhart Tolle moment like you had, where you just come to realization just suddenly. I have to do it like everyone else. I have to do it the hard way, which is gradually and little by little and unveil it. You know, I get jealous of you. I'm thinking, man, I wish I could have just had a bug crawl across my leg and poof, you know, I'm enlightened, you know.
The ego slammed, it did everything it could to take over. These 4 questions are something running in me. It's how wisdom lives in that pool that these questions take us into.
Okay.
You know, I would oh my goodness. Freedom doesn't mean stupid. It doesn't mean, I've been singing this song for almost 40 years from the time I got up from the floor, and I don't have to. I can go sit somewhere and do just as well.
Okay.
And
I'm also afraid that
you can see by this every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, people don't have to pay to come into this. And those that can do, I don't have to do this. This is, happiness is loving what is. And that doesn't mean just sitting somewhere meditating. It's hanging out with, oh, there's so much I could say here. There's so much I could say, but I will say, judge your neighbor, write it down, ask for questions, turn it around or not, and notice the things go on in your head that would keep you from doing that. And the ego is terrified of freedom. It equates it like with stupid or doing nothing or losing everything you've got. But this invitation, this self-inquiry is an invitation to, I have everything I ever wanted, but am I happy? I've lost everything. And the question is, am I happy? But happiness is our birthright. Freedom is our birthright. And it doesn't require a certain amount of money or shelter or relationships. I mean, it's for anyone with an open mind, and an open mind is the doorway. And sweetheart, it's just you. What you have shared with us today is like, you are not alone. You are not alone. So thank you for speaking for a lot of us, and get one of those certified facilitators that will hold you down, you wild horse, you. Okay, let's say, Bob, you have a worksheet.
I do, Katie. Thank you. And thank you for calling me.
Yes.
I have a worksheet, yeah. The context is I have a fiance who lives at long distance. We've known each other for about 13 years. And the first of my comments is I'm resentful with Jane because I question what's in our relationship for me. We have a plan to get together, and I have a kind of overriding question just from the experiences we've had together. What is actually in the relationship for me?
Yeah. Okay. So you want to know what her plan is for you. Is it true? And let's refer to her as as opposed to her name, Jane.
Okay.
You want to know what's in her plan for you.
Yes.
Okay, now drop in one more time, not to get rid of the yes, but drop in. Want to know what's in her plan for you. Are you sure? That's like shorthand for, can you really know that it's true? Are you sure that you want to know what's in her plan for you?
Yeah, I would like to know.
Now notice, is this a phone call you're on with her? Is that the situation?
Yeah, phone, Zoom. Yeah.
Okay, so be on that, on your phone call. Notice how you react in conversations with her when you're believing the thought, I want to know what's in her plan for me.
Yeah, well, when we converse and we have an exchange and I get something hits me that I don't like about what she's doing or what I imagine or know from our past experience together. I mean, although we've never really lived together a long time, we've been together, what's really been largely, I would call it more holiday than live long term. Even although we've known each other, we've kind of been either continents apart or if in the same country, then still had separate homes and so on. Anyway, the short of it is that, yeah, sure, I've got an experience of how things could be, and inevitably that extends into what I think it's going to be like in the future, on the assumption, the expectation that we do get together and do make a life living together in the future. And I have where I'm coming from, is largely a fear about what that will be like. If it's an extension, and if I get the same reactions as I have at the moment when stuff comes up and it hits me, and it doesn't make me feel comfortable for long term. That is where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I want to know what's in her plan for me. Who would you be without the thought? Just imagine your life with her as it is, as you've experienced it, not in the future, but as you have experienced it. Imagine, who would you be without the thought, I want to know what's in her plan for me? And listen to her words and look at the history that you've described. I don't want to know what her plans are for me. Look at the history, look at the reality. Why might that be true? I don't want to know what's in her plan for me when it's going on in front of your face. When it's already in your experience.
Yeah.
So just
it is. Okay.
Just be in that.
I can live with the not knowing for the future. Yeah, of course. I can, take things as they come. I'm open-minded.
Live in the present. Your experience of her in all these years. I don't not want to know what's in her plan for me. Why? Because I already know. She's been given it to you for.
number of years. Yeah. Yeah. That's a comfortable feeling.
It is. There she is. And living together, you know, when you look at your finances and your properties, things like that, I don't want to know what's in her plan for me. Turned around, I want to know what my plan is for her.
Yes. Yeah, there's a difference between the plan I would like and the plan I anticipate, the plan that I think I'm expected to provide.
But that's just you expecting that she expects it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And
I
that's
do see the flaw. Well, flaw. I do see the contradiction in what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, good. I don't want to know what's in her plan for me. I want to know what's in my plan for her. So you get, you know, where have you fallen short of full let's say expression or awareness of what your plan is for her in your life?
Largely because probably shied away from it out of fear and anticipation of what the response would be.
I would drop the probably.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Ooh, there's a simple way through this. Well, there's a simpler way than I've seen through it, that's for sure.
Yeah, getting your own affairs in order.
Yes. I guess I haven't maybe addressed some of this, just a fear of such a negative result. It just breaks everything and breaks everything, gives me the fear of be alone, recognize you've wasted time, not on.
And I would drop, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Your fears are coming up.
Yes, they are.
It's another turnaround. I don't want her to know what's in my plan for her.
Oh. Okay.
So look at how hidden away you keep yourself from her too. You're withholding. So ponder that.
Yes. Yeah. No. You're well spotted. You're absolutely right. I'm aware of that.
And you said earlier, very wisely, there's a lot of that you can take care of.
Mm.
You move in together legally and you being forthcoming before she moves in. Are you married?
Yeah. That really should be taken care of. Yeah. Rather than just let it drift in.
Yeah, it's everything you want from her. So bring it from there to your own camp. And I love this. I love this so much because when you really look at it, it could be there's nothing you would withhold from her. And or at least nothing you keep a secret from her that you would withhold from her. Like you could make a whole list of what is yours and share it, everything from emotional to material. And then she leaves or not.
Yes, yeah. In that respect, I do need to, is it right expression, man up or confront or share my expectation that I do keep buried. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I keep it. I mean, I've almost about to do the same. You know, justify in my own terms why I do that. I do that out of fear. I do.
Everything you fear in her is from her is within you. So we look to ourselves first. It could be hers, who knows, but look to the self. Take care of that. Let's look at number 2. In that situation, what do you want her to think, say, feel, or do?
I think I want her to recognize that some of the things, or most of the things she's interested in, I'm not.
Yikes. That's two-sided. It's most of the things you want from her. Would you read it again?
Yeah, sure. I want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in, I'm not.
So you want her to recognize that. Or I'll look at it this way. She doesn't recognize that.
Probably, yeah. I don't think she does. Yeah. I mean, I don't. I mean, I recognize two different people. You have different interests. You have different whatever, you know, in the world I live in. I think you can still coexist with someone, even although you don't, you know, share every single thing together.
My experience is, yeah.
So I observe that and recognize that, but I don't feel any kind of recognition that I'm not interested in social media or taking pictures of myself or, you know, posting pictures, you know, or things. And fine, if she wants to do that, that's fine. I support, you know, I recognize that. I just think that you know, that my world is just different. You know, the things for some, you know, just a combination of background, wherever I've come from, I'm interested in other things, you know.
Okay, so you want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in, you're not. You want her to recognize that you are not very interested in the things she's interested in. Okay, is it true that you want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in, you're not? Is that true?
Yes.
And how do you react? What happens when you think that thought and the two of you are communicating, talking, conversing? How do you react when you think the thought, I want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in, I'm not?
I think I have a kind of reaction that says, I don't like this internally. but externally, I suck it up and go along with it.
Yeah. Oh, look at you. Look at you on those phone calls. Look at you on those Zoom calls with her. Yeah. Now listen to her. Be there now. Who would you be without the thought? Listen to her excitement or her disappointments, and as she shares her life with you, just listen without the thought. I want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in, I'm not. Listen to her life. You're contemplating living together, living with her. Listen to her without the thought. I want her to know. I want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in, I'm not. Just listen, as though she's already moved in with you. Listen. Witness how she goes on. She's sharing her life with you. How's that going down with you without the thought?
Again, I would respect her. I would respect her time. I could absorb it internally and externally. Yeah.
Going down with you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and look at her excitement or her look at how she is sharing with you. And you not holding to thought. I want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in. I'm not.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's who she is. That's how she is. That's coffee in the morning or tea. That's lunch. That's dinner. That's in between. You're interested. You're good with it. That's what I'm hearing. I didn't hear you were interested, but I'm hearing that you're pretty good with it. It's wonderful to have an open mind like that. You get to share, and the other person's joy is not yours, but sharing it is, being connected that way, that it brings, that she's in joy and you get to witness. Her joy. Or her mundane. That's her mundane. Wherever she is with it.
Yeah.
So how would you turn that around? I don't want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in. I'm not. Notice your conversations with her. How you've faked it, how you've maybe been deceptive in your interests as opposed to authentic. In a conversation with her, I don't want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in. I'm not. Look at the persona you're offering up. In other words, you're not interested, but you want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in, you're not.
Yeah. There is, I guess, well, not I guess, there is a fake persona. Yeah. I can put a face on it and smile and carry on and swallow and get by that moment, but it comes back and bites me later, and Yeah, or sorry, comes back to my surface later. That's
So that's who she would be living with if you move together.
Yeah, I know. Don't that is on my mind. Don't I know that is that fair on her? Yeah. No, it's not.
I want her to recognize most of the things she's interested in. I'm not. Is that true? No, you haven't told her.
Yeah. Yes, you're absolutely right. I haven't.
You have attempted to show her who you're not. Yeah. Here's when it's true. When you tell her that most of the things she's interested in, you're not interested in, but that you care about her and want to continue exploring, moving the relationship to a living together relationship. A living together relationship. You know, someone's moving in with me. I want them to know who they're moving in with.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I owe that to both of us. Yeah.
If you want that for both of you, then you have well, we'll continue to see. You have a very open mind, is what I was going to say. You have a very open mind and a lot of wisdom there. Let's look at to tap into, especially. We can always so 3. Let's look at 3 in that situation where you want to know the plan for you. What advice would you offer her?
The advice I'd like to offer is that she recognize there's more to life than sweet words, and take some of the load from me. Reciprocate with what I think is important to make a relationship work. Yeah.
So is it important that she know who you are and these things you're discovering before she moves in?
It is important. It's very, very important, Katie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've written that down as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down as one of my biggest takeaways from this discussion. Thank you.
So knowing you, and now that you know you a little better, on the less than superficially, knowing you, and on those phone calls, she should recognize there's more to life than words, and take some of the load off of you. Is it true? We're talking about her and not the her of your dreams. Her. She should recognize there's more to life than words and take some of the load off of you. Is it true?
Yes.
How do you treat her when you believe this thought? And she's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. Those things you're not interested in. She's speaking to them. How do you treat her? Notice your attitude, how the tone of your voice maybe shifts around to whatever that is. Notice your emotional.
I think my approach is almost the same as before. In my mind, I do lots of things. You know, I do the minding, the cook, the clean, the whatever. I do whatever. I suck it up, and then I kind of, well, yeah, I do resent. I back in the quieter moments, I resent it, and back to my opening statement, I question afterwards. What's in this? Where's the balance? You know, I do things because I think it's part of my, you know, how I was raised, all that sort of thing. You're loyal, you're kind, you give. But then there is a bit in there that says, I'd like something as well. I'd like to be a little bit somewhere in this taken care of. I don't need much, but I'm looking for something. And okay, you know, there's enough in me that says, don't I know how selfish that sounds? Of course I do. But
notice what happens on the phone calls when that's going on in you. Really get in touch with that.
Swallow and change the subject. Yeah.
Notice the deceit as you witness that.
Okay. Yeah. I get it.
Persona.
Yeah.
So be on the call, on your phone calls. She should not recognize there's more to life than words. There's no way of knowing that's what you want. And she should not take some of the load off of you. You're okay with everything.
Yeah. I'm kind of afraid that's true. That is true. I can be, yeah.
You can find those areas that as we sit in these turnarounds, we find the areas. We find sometimes it's just a shadow, and sometimes it's just a blatant deceit. And deceit meaning denial. Sometimes it's so by rote we don't even know what's going on. We're just being this identity.
Yeah, indeed.
Mm-hmm. You know, Stephen lives with me and seems to be very happy in that, and has no idea what I'm going to say next, because it's going to come right out of a kind of integrity that prior to self-inquiry would have been unthinkable. And it seems that I was the last to know.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that you're the last to know, that she's already aware of a lot of this. But that you're kind and giving, and whether you're interested in the topic or not, she feels close enough to you to just go on with it. You see the double-edged here?
Yes, I do.
What we're looking at is your integrity with yourself. And that, in my world, turns out to be kind and caring, and I'm easy for me to live with. And for whatever reason, Stephen doesn't leave. In fact, he seems to be just very happy to live with me by some grace. She should reciprocate with what you think is important to you. Is it true?
No.
Notice how you react when you're believing that thought in conversations. On the phone or off the phone.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I respect, individuals have different beliefs, different interests.
Yeah, it goes down easy for you, yeah. Knowing her, let's turn it around. She should not reciprocate. Let's get to know her. She should not reciprocate with what I think is important to me.
Okay.
So what comes to mind as you muse into that idea?
I can respect that. I can accept that. Yeah.
So drop in again, not to change your mind, but to see what opens up for you. Let's say you're living together. She should not reciprocate with what you think is important to you.
Yeah, I can accept that.
Wow. And you're contemplating everything from ideas to attitudes to material properties to your privacy. She should not reciprocate with what you think is important to you.
It's tough to completely take on board, I'll be honest.
It's very tough, but it is an opportunity to tie up any loose ends that are showing up right now, as you said in that.
Yeah, indeed.
Kind to her, kind to you. Your first one is, I want to know what's in her plan for me. Turned around, I want her to know what's in my plan for her.
Yeah.
These living turnarounds are just, oh my goodness, the lives and marriages and relationships that shift when we know ourselves and the cause of our suffering and how to end it. Just idea by idea. Okay, sweetheart, let's look at 4. In order for you to be happy in this situation where you want to know what is her plan for you, in that situation, what do you need specifically to be happy?
And this evolves as this discussion goes on, but I need her, what I've written is I need her to take some of the load, to take some of the load, what I feel is some of the load from me.
Okay, now you know her and you're in love, let's say, with her. Not the her you want her to be, but you're in love with her.
Yeah, yes, I am. I mean, I know this sounds maybe contrary, but to some of the things I've said, but I am. You know, there is a sweetness, there's a happiness there. Yeah.
And it doesn't sound contrary to me. You know, love is we've heard is without condition.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you know, you're not far off there, but the ego has a say. Its job is to take that over, okay, which is what we're looking at on the worksheet. To be happy, you need her to take some of the load from you. How do you treat her when you believe that thought? That if she just took some of that load off of you, you'd be happier.
Yeah, that's my thought. Yeah.
And how do you treat when you believe that thought and she's going on and on about what you're not interested in?
It's the same conclusion. I take the load, and then something deep in me kind of resents it a bit. Yeah. I kind of, in my opinion, well, it's not. Yeah, in the world I live in, I give first. I do give first. I know that.
Then you resent it, and it's on them, even though you're blaming yourself.
Yeah.
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 So to be happy, just notice your attitude toward her when you think the thought. She's going on and on. I need her to take some of the load off of me. Seeing how you react and waking up to that, being in touch with that, can really take a lot of the load off of you. Just noticing. So just be there now. Notice how you treat her. Notice your attitude. Notice the resentment you feel and your emotions, the images of past, future, all of that as you just sit in and notice in that situation when you're believing the thought, how you react, what happens when you think the thought, I need her to take some of the load from me.
Yeah, it's just an internal fight, an internal struggle. Maybe I'm not being honest. Well, maybe I'm not being honest. I don't explode. Maybe I've had a reaction. Maybe, yeah, I do probably show displeasure in.
So drop the probably and be there. Be there with you on the phone.
Well, what I tend to do is just draw back into myself. I go back into my shell. I come back from the confrontation.
Not right or wrong, just noticing.
Yeah.
Any punishment there just to let her know that you need her to take some of the load from you?
Punishment? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, I keep a score in myself, but I don't bring the score up. Yeah.
Mm-mm. Notice your attitude on the phone when you think the thought, I need her to take some of the load from me. And she's going on and on, giving you what you want.
Is it what I want? No, of course not. No.
Well, when she is not giving you what you want.
Yeah, my reaction is, largely take it. Yeah.
And what does that look like? What does that feel like? Notice, be there now.
It makes me feel bad because I know perfectly well I've not confronted something. I know perfectly well I'm just pushing a problem forward. Yeah.
Okay. Burden.
Yeah.
Lack of integrity. And no disrespect, but because this is all of us, like the courage, lacking the courage to speak up.
Yeah.
And that's not unwise, as it turns out. For me, I need to know what we're looking at. For example, what we're looking at now. And make that right with myself. Turned around, I need me to take some of the load from her in that situation, which I think you do very well. Another turnaround, to be happy, I need me to take some of the load from me. What is it you're not saying to her? What is it you're not admitting to yourself? So just be there now, take some of the, listen to her going on.
Yeah.
And witness you. I need me to take some of the load from me.
Yeah.
So just listen to her, drop the thought, I need her to take some of the load off of me and take some of the load off of you. Listen, take a breath.
Yeah. That sits very comfortably. Yeah.
Because everything you're not saying, you can say. This may sound a little strange, but it would be like, it continues to amaze me how the things you're interested in, I'm really not. And it amazes me how much I love you, and I just listen and listen and listen without sharing. And I hold some things back that are going on in my head, and I'm learning a lot from you. About myself and who you're in relationship with.
Yeah.
To be happy, I need me to take some of the load from me.
Yeah.
Let's look at 5.
5. I think she's naive. The questions about what I think of her in the situation. I think she's naive, self-interested, childlike. Yeah.
Oh, now I see why you're so attracted to her.
Go on.
That was it.
Yeah, probably.
She's
Yeah.
naive and self-interested and childlike. That's her.
Yeah.
And she goes on and on and on and things you're not interested in. She's naive, self-interested, childlike. Good to know who you're taking on. That could be the very thing that attracts you to her. Just know that.
Yeah, no, I do recognize that. I do recognize there's the opposite thing there. I do recognize that, I don't think, I do think there is the, the sweetness and the open-mindedness is an attraction. Yeah.
Yeah. So be there on the phone, and she's just talking about what you're not interested in. Be there without your ego present. Listen, get still.
Yeah. I can do that. I can do that. I should do that. I will do that.
There can be a great joy in that. She sounds like an innocent.
She is. Yeah.
And she's got you that just maybe a little stern, maybe a bit put off occasionally. But you're there. You're there. Steady. She's naive, self-interested, and childlike. Turned around, I am. When it comes to her, I am.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
I am naive
Yeah.
and childlike.
Yeah.
Yes. I get that. Totally with that.
Yeah. And then later, when you sit with this on the other side of our time together, where have you been naive? Listen to those conversations, meditate in them. Where are you naive and self-interested? And write those things down. Where is it that you're self-interested and childlike? And the ego is childlike. There's nothing mature about it. So we're really just inviting the ego to show itself so we can see it more as a friend than an enemy. It's like almost understanding the ego the way it appears you're beginning to understand her and yourself.
Yeah.
So you want to know what's in her plan for you. You're getting a really good look. That's it.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. So there goes naivety.
Yeah, indeed. Definitely. Yeah, there goes naivety.
Yeah. And she's self-interested, turned around. I am her interested.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's look at 6.
What I'd written is what I want to be.
We're very childlike in the way you care about her, meaning it doesn't really seem to matter how she goes on and on with what you're not interested in. You're just Anyway, you can sit in that. It gives you something. She, there's something in there for you. She's childlike. It gives you an opportunity maybe to play in areas that have been beneath you.
Yeah, I don't regard it as beneath, but I regard it as just a different. It's a different,
Very good, different
piece of a jigsaw that it's not mine. But I mean, diversity's, in my mind, diversity is a good thing.
Yeah, and mine as well. Yeah, beautiful thing. So 6, what is it in 6? What is it you never want to experience again with her? That situation.
I don't want to feel used and feel that I'm just a giver.
She uses you. Is it true?
No, it's not true. She doesn't. I don't think she recognizes what I think is the imbalance. And of course she won't know what the imbalance is because I've never told her. Yeah. I'm thinking Stephen uses me. Is it true? What a great list. I can just see the list. So when we're sitting in self-inquiry, think, oh, I can see that. No, make a list. It's just so revealing what's in our head, moving it from our head into the world on paper. He uses me. The list is long, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's using me in a terrible way. Like a good way or bad way. It's a list. And to make those lists it can consist of things we fear and a list of just what's real and true. Stephen uses me. Yeah. I think in my case, I don't think she knows that she uses me because I haven't told her. Mm-hmm. But I think the feeling that I have is really just a fear of being used. And why do I fear I'm being used? I fear I'm being used because of previous relationship, previous whatever. So there's something in my, however I've got to this point, past experiences that say this could happen again. Mm-hmm. And I've let it happen before. And I'm mindful I don't want it to happen again. So there is fear. It's fear mostly, yeah.
Beautiful to take care of those things before the idea of moving in together. And of course, we take care of them or we don't. And then after we've worked them, people, let's say she moves in with you or she doesn't, but you're as awake as you can be. So you can always look to yourself. And that's, rather than her, because that's where you have complete control. That's mine. I can't put that on her. So the resentment it leaves us in our own camp.
Yeah.
Into myself. And then those turnarounds, where do I use Stephen? Oops, the list just got longer than his list.
Okay.
And that makes a really good list. Either list and you can all make both. So and I'm going to have fun doing the same. So I'm willing I'm willing to feel used.
I'm willing to feel used and be a giver.
Yeah. And I look forward to.
Ooh, I look forward to being used and being a giver. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's always just going to be one more worksheet. The worst that can happen is all of you listen to this. The worst that can happen in your life is what you're thinking and believing at any given moment. And then how you react when you believe the thoughts that are causing the suffering, that's not it, because those emotions and the pain, they are a way the ego solidifies that. And it's just like it becomes our identity. So I love we have, I look forward to being used, and I look forward to being, I'm willing to be used, look forward to being used. It's another worksheet. And honey, thank you for your sharing your inquiring mind with us. You have the gift of open mind, open heart, the gift of retrospection.
Thank you. It's very kind of you, but thank you.
Thank you for being our teacher today. And on the other side of this, I invite you to go back and do the same worksheet that you've written alone with your beautiful self. Let's get some takeaways. So, Minky, your takeaway with Bob's work today. Oh, your sound. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Darn. No. Oh, well, we'll get back to you. Maybe you can find it. Okay, so Heather.
Hi.
Hi, Heather.
I love Bob's work today. And my takeaway is I went from one marriage to another, and I was never going to not tell my truth again. And like one time I thought he's more mature than me way by far. And he's older than me in his age and acting. But I just told him, I said, if you expect me to ever grow up, I'm never going to do it. I just can't. I actually, with you, Katie, I'm actually growing up. I feel like I'm in my 20s now. But
it's the beautiful thing is as we mature in this work, it's as we mature, it doesn't take the lightheartedness away. The maturity doesn't come like hardened and bitter. It's the extreme opposite. And to wake up as that human being, as that persona, without any manipulation, just to be that is just, so
I love hearing everything that was wrong with him. And so I think because I couldn't see anything wrong with him, but he was so out, like I don't like to talk a lot sometimes. I'm really happy you have a lot of friends. And he likes to be quiet in his room. And I just love all that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, honey. That's just what is. We are blessed.
We're blessed to know it's good sometimes and drop the fear of it, I guess.
Oh, honey. Thank you.
It scared me once he chose someone else when we're at, and I just told him and he explained, he said, I can be attracted to other people. It doesn't mean I'm interested in them. So then I understood that it's hard. You want to know the truth, but then sometimes the truth kind of scary.
Yeah, it can be when you look at what you're believing that means. Yeah. It's like people say something that's scary, but it's what I'm thinking and believing about what they say that is scaring me. No one can hurt me. That's my job. No one can frighten me. That's my job. I've used, like, occasionally someone holds a gun to my head. Where's the problem other than what I'm thinking and believing? And that sounds a bit radical. And yeah, just muse in that. Brian.
Yeah, the main takeaway is that I just know already that I love you.
In my world, that's all we need to know, because when you say I love you to me, that tells me about you. But what about me?
Well, and also, yeah, I've only come across your work really just 2 days ago.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Brian. Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! Your mind is very open.
Yeah. So I've already been doing a lot of this similar work, but and I actually facilitate with different methods for other people. But what I like about this is that you don't really need somebody. It's a good way of self-facilitation. So with what I do, you have to have someone to help. But this is, I really love this, because for folks I can't help directly, I can offer this. So yeah.
But help, the work is it's like learning to ride a bicycle for the first time.
Yeah.
There's a flow to it. It's a meditative state, and it's something we can. It's a little clumsy at first, but there's a flow to it once you sit in it for a while, that the ego really gets, you're not trying to kill it.
Also, I was
and meeting it with some understanding, and then that's the end of war.
I was really resistant to filling out those sheets, because I don't know, I thought either what's the point, or I think I was afraid to do them.
Yeah. It's asking a lot, but it's just you with you, and you can always burn it later. But
I did one. I'm not as afraid now, but I was still resistant to doing the judge your neighbor one. I don't know why. I just didn't want to do that one.
Yeah, well, it's just you with you.
But after watching this, and then after you talk to me, I'm actually feel more comfortable. I feel more like I want to do it. I actually want to do it now.
Oh, that's great. You just get on that bicycle and easy does it, and open that, your heart's open. You can do this.
Yeah. And so, and just really thank you again, and thank you for this work. It's just, it's really beautiful. And there's really, I wish there was about 1,000 more of you in this world.
Oh, well, honey, I think there are, and it's not personal. It's not me. It's not a physical body. It's something we do share, one to the other. But the most obvious way to share it is love. And that is, I woke up this morning and just, oh my goodness, just loving what is, and looking at a tree, it's there for me. That's personal. And the sky, if I see the sky, that's my sky, not in a selfish way, but it just is, because I see the sky. And the air, just to experience that given, it blows my mind, this friendly universe. And any idea that would oppose that belongs on paper. It's a lack of awareness, not right or wrong. It just hurts.
The paper helps because I noticed that my mind is really squirrely. Yeah,
and it takes those squirrely heads like ours to just answer the questions. Short, simple answers. Keep it simple, nothing tricky.
And I love how I've watched some of your other videos or when you've done this with some other folks. One of my most favorite things that you say is basically, yes or no.
Yeah.
That really was super helpful and powerful for me, because my mind can go into like a long drawn out monologue, and before I have to like retrace my steps, so to speak. Where was I? I have to go back.
Yeah. You can sit in "Is it true?" for a while, and if you're anchored in the situation, then
My mind's always hedging bets. Is it true? Well, in this case, maybe, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. So anchor in that situation that you're filling the worksheet out of.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Dagmara.
Hello, Katie.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I'm on a vacation, and I find out that there is no pausa in doing worksheets, and I'm so happy that I'm today with you, even though in a kind of restaurant at the end of the world. I just miraculously connected with you, and I would like to thank you, both of the men. First, it was Brian, and this statement, I'm unable to accomplish my goal. It's so close to me, and thank you for the tip to write it down. What does it mean to not accomplish my goal? It's so beautiful, and I will do it with pleasure. And thank you for this one. And the second was Bob, and I was. It was beautiful to hear from you, Bob. It was so innocent. Your sharing with us, and intimate also. And it is the most important case in my life, because I always finish up the relation with being some kind of used, and I can see that in my case it's not the history of relations that I'm being used by my partner. It's just the pattern which is going from my relation with my dad, and it is beautiful. The second tip, how to do this, and what does it mean, these uses, and I will a beautiful list of these things. And the last thing I would like to share is that you said that you give first. I can say I give a lot, and then it is a resentment. And I know this pattern very well, because it's just like being a victim, and this resentment is a perpetrator, right? And it's amazing how it's dance together, and how I invite to my life the partner who will dance this dance with me, and then I'm I'm a victim and I'm being used. But it's so funny, and it's good to have a distance also to this pattern, and come to with heart to this ego strategies. And it was beautiful to share and beautiful to do my work with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dagmara. Thank you. Have a good time on your vacation. I had a vacation last night. It just lasted maybe just a few seconds, but it was an earthquake here in Ojai, and it was so good. I spent my entire life here in California, and earthquakes are just a thing, but it's just like, oh my goodness. And we had beautiful rain and a storm and all kinds of urgent things coming through our phones and internet. And it was it was something beautiful. It was something beautiful. I remember when those things used to terrify me. So the work works, and our plan, thanks to your contributions, our plan is to be back here every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And thank you all for being here.